Marshall, stainless steels are often considered to be very expensive materials, but I think there's another angle to that. Can you just explain a little bit about how we really cost stainless steel installations?
Yes, Ken. For a long time now, we've been trying to show stainless steel as a cost-effective alternative for other materials, construction materials. And we use a tool called lifecycle costing to do that. Now, lifecycle costing is a technique developed for identifying and quantifying all costs, initial and ongoing, on a big project or an installation over a given period, this period being the lifespan of the product. As such, it's a very useful tool to compare long-term performance and associated costs for a project. So it's a very handy thing for initial determination, what route are we going to go in terms of materials over a specific lifespan for a product.
That sounds to me very complicated. I mean, there's lots of maths involved and there's all sorts of financial calculations. Isn't there a simpler way of doing this?
Yes, there is. It's a fairly complicated calculation. So it boils down to that your total life cycle cost is your initial material costs plus your initial installation cost and your fabrication costs. You will have your operating and maintenance cost added to that. And then you also take into account your lost production and downtime costs, as well as your replacement if you need to do that during the lifespan. Now, to make it simpler, we have developed software that is available on our website that will automate this calculation for you, where you can compare more than one material. And we also have a mobile application that you can download for your Android or your Apple device. That makes it very simple, and it gives you a nice conclusion on the question, which material will give me the best life cycle costing.
So what inputs do I use? Can I use any input?
Look, typical inputs that you need to prepare, the things that you do need to know before you tackle the software will be your cost of capital, obviously, your financial inputs, your inflation rate, and through that the program will calculate your real interest rate. Then you've got to know your desired life cycle, which can be hundreds of years, decades, maybe a few months. But that is up to you and the typical application. Then obviously you need to have a good feel for what your downtime and your replacement times that you're out of commission, what that will cost, and then your value for lost production. So if you've got that, you can basically calculate the whole thing from there. And our software can easily guide you through that.
I think there's an interesting competition coming up. Maybe you can just explain a little bit about that?
Yes, we recently launched a competition where we ask people to enter the competition, and in this competition they need to compare a structure built from mild steel compared to being built out of stainless steel. Now, this structure is an iconic structure in Europe, the Eiffel Tower. So we are asking contestants to, if we should build the Eiffel Tower today, what material would you use? Mild steel, stainless steel, or whatever your option will be, that will give the best life cycle costing results in the end.
And I believe it gives some very interesting
statistics. We've compared the carbon steel as built currently, carbon steel, and the related operating and maintenance cost of the current Eiffel Tower. We have compared that to a very expensive but very strong, high top-end stainless steel, because then you can use less material because it's much stronger. And we also compared it to a low-cost stainless steel. And the results are quite stunning. I can't say much more because the competition is still running, but stainless steel shows up to be a champion.
So there's more to this than meets the eye.
Yes, where people in the stainless steel industry usually had the intuitive feeling that the product will last longer at a lower cost. Now we can actually prove it.